The following is a presentation of 912 Sports. Welcome to On Air with 912 Sports, your number one source for high school sports. With Shawn Smoke, Kevin Price, and Robbie Ross. On Air with 912 Sports is brought to you by Coastal Pines Technical College. Go Coastal. Prime South Bank. Find your prime. Robbie Robertson Ford, because Fords are cheaper in the swamp. Gibson Animal Clinic, practical solutions with limited fees. Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, the region's best orthopedic care. And Kim Smoke, licensed realtor with eXp Realty.
High schoolers, did you know that you can get a head start on your college career and save money at the same time through dual enrollment at Coastal Pines Technical College? Dual enrollment is open to high school juniors and seniors, tuition free. Talk to your high school counselor or visit coastalpines.edu for more information. Coastal Pines Technical College, an equal opportunity institution. Go Coastal.
It makes sense Prime South Bank would have a great mobile app. Nobody is as mobile as our customers. For a century, they've chased dreams, followed their hearts, took the road less taken, made a new path, taken leaps of faith. At Prime South, offering the latest digital banking, secure pay apps, and new online lending is part of a mobile tradition that goes way back. Life is mobile. So is Prime South. Find your Prime. Member FDIC.
Play it loud and rev it up. Robbie Robinson's got trucks built for tough.
Make your way to Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, where the deals are bigger than ever. Looking for a stylish midsize car, a spacious SUV, or a truck that performs at work and play? Robbie Robertson wants your vehicle and is paying top dollar. Now is the time to buy. Fords are cheaper in the swamp.
Hey folks, and welcome to the Smoke Report. Here we are today to cover the games of August 25th. Last week, Appling County had a big win, bouncing back from their loss to Ware in Week 0, 54-13 of Aiken High School out of South Carolina. Move a little bit down to Bacon County. Red Raiders get their first win of the season, defeating Scriven County 30-0. The Commissioner Cup of Hinesville, for the first time in a long time, belongs to the Bradwell Institute Tigers. Tigers defeated their crosstown rivals, Liberty County Panthers, 26-13. As we move forward, Brantley County in their home opener in Caney Bay blanks Groves High School 30-0. Brunswick on the road defeats Camden County 21-17. Yulee, Florida crosses the border into South Georgia as the Florida team defeated Charlton County 31-20 in this Georgia-Florida matchup. Clinch County loses for the first time in a long time in their early season non-conference schedule in 22-19 Macon County. Bainbridge and Coffee are one of the best matchups in the state Friday night. Perennial powerhouses of 5A. Coffee County goes on the road and defeats the Bearcats 23-14. Frederica travels across the state in a matchup of private schools as they defeat Tift Area Academy 39-35. Pierce blanks Jeff Davis 42-0 in their Bearville opener at Hometown Stadium, Bear Stadium in Blackshear, Georgia. Glenn and McIntosh meet up in one of the great battles of the Golden Isles, and Glenn defeats McIntosh 14-6. Long gets back in the win column this week with a bounce-back win over Tatnall County 36-0. New Hampstead was firing on all cylinders Friday night as they defeated Windsor Forest of Savannah 59-6. Ware and Richmond Hill, another great matchup in the 912 coverage area. Ware goes on the road to visit Richmond Hill in the Hill, and was a great matchup in the first half. Ware got out to a 14-0 halftime lead, but Richmond Hill battled back to make it 14-7 to go in the final quarter. Two defensive great plays, including a scoop and score for a touchdown and a forced fumble, which led to a Dejon Dennis touchdown in the last few minutes, stretched out the Ware lead 28-7, which ended up being the final. Matt Dobson gets his first win as the head coach of the Statesboro Blue Devils, 12-7 over their crosstown rivals, Southeast Bullock. Wayne County played host to small school state powerhouse Brooks County and was able to blank them 14-0 last Friday night in JC Stadium. As always, I do want all the smoke, so we will see you guys next week. And as we look forward to the September 1st games, I got some great matchups for you next week. Can't wait to see y'all again. Back to you, Shawn.
At Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, you don't have to be an athlete to get the region's best orthopedic care. Our board-certified orthopedic surgeons and physicians treat injuries and conditions that affect just about any joint or bone in your body. Plus, we're backed by the support of Southeast Georgia Health System. From fracture repair to joint replacement, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery will get you moving again. Call 1-855-ASK-SGHS. That's 1-855-275-7447 or visit sghs.org/summit.
Gibson Animal Clinic is ready to help with your animals. From cats to dogs to horses, we treat them all. Call on us for grooming, bathing, boarding, and more serious things like surgery, dentistry, spay, neuter, immunizations, heartworm prevention, flea control, complete lab testing, radiology, preventive health care. Call us at 285-7678. Open Saturdays for your convenience. Gibson Animal Clinic. Practical solutions with reasonable fees. Russell J. Gibson, DVM.
Gibson Animal Clinic, 108 Riverside Drive, Waycross.
Hablamos español en nuestra clínica.
Welcome, sports fans, and thanks for watching On Air with 912 Sports. I'm Shawn Smoke, publisher of 912 Sports, joined as always by head writer and podcast host Kevin Price. Kevin, how you doing?
Good, Shawn. Kind of hard to believe week 3 already, but rocking right along, and got a hurricane, a storm kind of brewing down on us, but should be out of here where we can play high school football Friday night for sure, and hopefully Thursday night as well.
Yeah, we got a Thursday night game. We'll get to that in just a second, but we're going to preview all the games for Friday, 9:01. And like I said, we're going to jump right into it, Kevin, with 912 Sports Game of the Week, and that is Wayne at Appling. Both of these teams come into this season, or come into this game. Wayne is undefeated at 2-0. Appling is 1-1 after losing a tight one to Ware County in the opening game of the season. Appling kind of feels like this one got away from him last year, Kevin. Appling was on a roll. Didn't get to play Ware last year, first game of the season, but was really rolling. And for whatever reason, the offense just did not click the night that they played Wayne County. This was a low-scoring game, 7-0, that Wayne won. And Appling kind of feels like one got away. And so we'll see what happens this year. This game is at Jimmy Swain Stadium, Kevin, in Baxley. So Appling with a little bit of home field advantage there. But we both know Wayne is rolling right now with Matthew Fuller at running back. Had a huge night, the first night against Bradwell. But it'll be a really, really good high school football game Friday night in Baxley.
Yeah, no question. Obviously, the game of the week, this is one we picked before the season started, and you had to know it was going to stick, even though there's some other good games on the docket for this week. But this one certainly sticks out like a sore thumb, and backyard rivals going to be real intense. The fire marshal might have to lock the gates and not let anybody else in, but you got a team in Wayne that went to the quarterfinals last year in their class. Obviously, Appling went to the semifinals in their class. Appling's 2 in AA, ranked 2nd in AA. I think Wayne County's ranked 6th in 5A. Like you said, 4. Wayne 2-0. Yeah, depending on what poll you look at.
Wayne, they're 4A. They're 4A.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah. 4A. Wayne, 2-0, like you said. Appling 1-1, but of course that was a tough loss to Ware. What gives in this game? I mean, 2 great defenses, 2 great offenses, 2 great head coaches, 2 good staffs. They know each other very well. You know, that game last year, Shawn, 7-0 that Wayne won, kind of surprised me at that point, but it probably should have just been foreshadowing of things to come for the Yellow Jackets. We just did not know it yet. But this certainly has the makings of a good one, and we'll just see what happens. But it might just come down to the fourth quarter and who can make the clutch plays and execute when it's crunch time.
Yeah. But I tell you what, there's some smack talking going on this week over there around those water coolers at Rayonier and some of those other plants. Definitely going to be, a lot of trash talking, but it's going to get settled on the field there at Jimmy Swain Stadium this Friday night over in Baxter. Next up, Kevin, we've got Berrien's going to travel over to Bacon County coming off a win last week, so we'll see if they can keep their winning streak alive. New Hampstead's going to travel to Bradwell Institute. I think that's going to be a pretty good game. Bradwell, much improved, got the big win over Liberty last week. And then the next game we're going to talk about, Kevin, is Beach at Brantley. I'm just going to whisper here. 2-0.
I know you got this one on there. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just going to whisper 2-0. But I think Brantley's 3-0 after Friday night. I think Jeff Cannon's got a really, got a decent football team down there at Brantley this year. They're able to score points. They put up 30 this past Friday night, and I think they'll be able to get Beach and roll right along and be 3-0 on the young season.
You think, Shawn? You really
I think so.
Okay, well, let's look at this. You ought to be confident. Brantley beat Atco 46-14. They beat Groves 30-0. Did you look at Beach's scores? They lost to Bluffton 41-6, and they also lost their last game 61-0. So they've been outscored 102-6. I wrote a big 3-0 in my notes, of course, by Brantley County.
Gonna be a good one there. But Beach got to travel to Caney Bay, so Brantley gonna get another home game there. But look for Brantley to be 3-0. And then Kevin, the other game we're going to talk about in this section here, big game coming up this Thursday night. You heard us right, Thursday night there, 8:31. Between the Bricks, you'll be on the call there for the PA for this game. Winter Park, Florida comes in to play Brunswick. Brunswick's going to be super high off that huge win over Camden this past Friday night. But we're hoping, Kevin, you mentioned earlier in the segment, we got a hurricane coming in. We're hoping that this game gets played. Don't know a lot about Winter Park. Don't know what classification they are. Don't know how they played last year. But Brunswick looked really good going into Chris Gilman Stadium there on Friday night and getting the win against Camden.
Yeah, well, this game is on a Thursday night because a game we're going to talk about here momentarily, Camden and Glenn, is on Friday night. The reason why this game is being played, first of all, is Brunswick was one of those Georgia teams that had a Florida team scheduled on that August 18th date. And I don't remember exactly what the rule was with Florida, but there was a late change in the summer where some of their teams or whatever it was couldn't travel outside the state or couldn't play a team outside the state in August, something like that. And so Brunswick was a team certainly affected by that. They had to drop that game, so they were off of that opening week of the season. Were able to fit this game in what should have been their off week. Winter Park, I guess, was looking for a game as well. Winter Park is out of the Orlando area. I can tell you a little bit about them. They're 1-0. They won 30-6 in their opener against Lake Donut. That's also a team in the Orlando area. They were 10-2 last year. Shawn went undefeated 4-0 in their district, is what they call it, down in Florida. One of the games on their schedule last year was a non-region win around this point in the calendar up at North Gwinnett, a big 7A school. So Winter Park has a winning tradition. Their coach, Tim Shiflett, has been a head coach for 18 seasons, has right at 124, 125 wins. They run the spread. They've got good athletes. They try to get it to them in space. Good-looking offensive line. So Brunswick's going to have their work cut out. I guess for Brunswick, maybe some of the subplots, short week, particularly with the storm. They'll miss a day of practice tomorrow with no school. That's already been called off in Glenn County for Wednesday. And then, of course, just a short week anyway. And then, is there any hangover effect from that Camden County game? We'll see. But with Winter Park having to come here on a Thursday and school day for them and whatnot, Brunswick being at home, I would think things still stack up in Brunswick's favor.
Yeah, it should be a good one there on Thursday night, Kevin. You'll be on the call there between the bricks. Look forward to seeing the outcome of that game. Hopefully Winter Park comes unscathed through the storm because I think they're going to get most of it Tuesday, early Wednesday, and then they'll be able to travel up here and get this game in on Thursday. But, Kevin, let's take a break. We'll come right back here with more games slated for 9/01/23. You're watching On Air with 912 Sports.
High schoolers, did you know that you can get a head start on your college career and save money at the same time through dual enrollment at Coastal Pines Technical College? Dual enrollment is open to high school juniors and seniors, tuition free. Talk to your high school counselor or visit coastalpines.edu for more information. Coastal Pines Technical College, an equal opportunity institution. Go Coastal.
Welcome back, sports fans. I'm Sean Spoke. He's Kevin Price, and we're going to continue on with the game slated for 9:01:23. Kevin, first up, we've got Camden at Glenn. This game kind of got kicked up a notch with Brunswick's big win past Friday night over Camden County. We'll see what Glenn's got for them. This game is at Glenn County Stadium, so you'll be on the call Friday night there between the bricks. But Camden got to be licking their wounds. I think Camden really had that Brunswick game last week circled. They didn't get the win. Brunswick was able to go down there and win that game 21-17, and now all of a sudden you got to go on the road to play a really good Glenn County team, one that Rocky Hidalgo's really, he's got a lot of belief in. They're playing really good defense, so it's going to be interesting to see if Camden can get back on the winning streak or do their losing streak go to 2 in a row.
Yeah, and when you look at this game, of course, I was talking to Coach Rock over at Glenn for our podcast on 912 Sports, and he talked about Camden. Defense misses some tackles, and he feels like they'll have a lot of practice time working on tackling this week, and expects them to tackle better against his Glenn team. And then offensively, he mentioned that this time last year they were messing around a little bit, doing some things that they had put in place in the summer, and did some of those things against Brunswick as well, maybe threw the ball a little bit more than you might think a Camden County team would. And sometimes when those things don't work and when they don't fit or you just don't do them as well, you go back to what you know. And he expects it to be a basic wing tee, coming right at them, getting downhill, fast and physical this week. And I think he's right. Camden's going to go back to the bread and butter, I believe, this week. We'll see if that is indeed the case. And I think for Glenn, that means can they stack up in the lines of scrimmage with a Camden team that, no question, is big and physical up front on both sides of the football. The Glenn defense has played well in the opening couple of ball games, and Glenn matched McIntosh's physicality last week. And you might laugh at that, or somebody might laugh at that. But, Sean, you know as well as I know that the guys in Darien aren't your typical little single-A school. They're going to hit you in the mouth, like Coach Rock said last week before that game. They hit anything that moves, whether it's a semi-truck or a dumpster or anything. And they certainly weren't afraid to hit anything in red and white. And so I think for Glenn, it will be a matter of can they match Camden's physicality in the trenches. And I don't think 21 points will win this one like it did their opener in Statesboro, nor will 14 points win it. I think Glenn's going to have to score some points and find some offense in this ball game to win it.
Yeah, and Peacock's been limited up into this point. We'll see, Kevin, if he can go full bore and play the entire game. If he does, I think Glenn's got a shot. If not, Glenn's going to be playing one arm behind the back.
Yeah, they got to get some big playability, I think. I don't think they're going to be able to just, jam it down Camden's throat. The good news is Ryan Schoeneman has played well and at quarterback. And Coach Rock reminded me, I said, hey, he was playing just his second game as a varsity quarterback last Friday night. Talk about his development, and he corrected me. No, just his second game, period, as a quarterback. But, they're talking about maybe putting some more on him. And this is a tough situation to do that against a 7A football team with plenty of talent and some big dudes that's going to be coming at him. But, he's a cool customer, a competitive athlete. And if he can handle it, I think they'll let him do it. So they might turn him loose a little bit more, and they might make some plays downfield in the passing game if they do so. And like I said, they're glad to shake this Camden defense loose and get some big chunk yardage plays, I think, to have a chance.
Yeah, they got the receivers to do that. So going to be a good one there between the bricks. Kevin on the call there for the PA for this Friday night. But let's move along, Kevin. We've got Charlton going down to West Nassau, so they're going to cross the Florida border and play right there, 20 miles from their town. Clinch is going to travel up to Miller. Clinch kind of licking their wounds, Kevin, after that loss to Macon County this past Friday night. So we'll see if they can get back on the winning side of things. Coffee is open this week, so they get a chance to rest up after the big win over Bainbridge. Statesboro at Effingham. This is a pretty interesting game. Statesboro able to get a win this past week, and Effingham played Burke County really, really tough. But the next game we're going to talk about, Kevin, is Frederica at Valwood. Frederica, of course, Jordan Triplett, the all-world running back over there, has had 2 massive first games, but they get to play their old rival here, Valwood. It generally comes down to them and Valwood in some shape, form, or fashion in the playoffs to move on or to get a chance to play for a state title. So this is going to be interesting, and Frederica's got to go on the road. They've been at home the last 2 weeks, so now they got to get on the bus, make the short ride over to Valdosta, and take on Valwood.
Yeah, at one time when Frederica was trying to make a name for itself, Valwood was kind of that measuring stick. And since then, Frederica has ventured out and played some GHSA schools that they measured themselves against too. But they, along the way, with Valwood, developed a pretty good rivalry. I looked it up last night just to be sure, but I think Valwood does lead the all-time series 6-4 for what that's worth. But, Shawn, this could be a track meet, and based on results from early ball games, so far Frederica has scored 56 and 39 points in winning their first 2 ball games. Valwood just played 1 game so far, beat St. Andrews 50-29. Valwood won this game between the 2 teams last year, I think 32-21. But it has been the Jordan Triplett show for Frederica, as you've alluded to. He's averaging 349.5 yards. 699 yards in 2 games, taking direct snaps from center. So we'll see if Valwood can slow him down. The first 2 opponents have not. So it could be which team can play at least a little bit of defense and maybe make a stop or 2 when the chips are down in the 4th quarter. We'll see.
Exactly, and that's been Frederica's shortcoming. They've given up a ton of points. They've scored a ton of points. They're 2-0, but they've given up a ton of points. But if Valwood wants to make it a horse race, I like Frederica's horse. So
no question.
We'll see how
I will
it goes.
say this, Shawn, though, Valwood with a new coach, and they have some experience. I think about 9 starters on one side of the ball, 7 on the other, so about 16 combined. So they got an experienced squad, I think, with a freshman quarterback. So that will be a good chance for maybe Frederica to possibly play some defense, see if they can get after the quarterback, maybe force him into some freshman mistakes.
That'll be a good one there on the road over in Valwood. But, hey, Kevin, let's take another break. We'll come right back here and finish up the games from 901. But you're watching On Air with 912 Sports.
At Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, you don't have to be an athlete to get the region's best orthopedic care. Our board-certified orthopedic surgeons and physicians treat injuries and conditions that affect just about any joint or bone in your body. Plus, we're backed by the support of Southeast Georgia Health System. From fracture repair to joint replacement, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery will get you moving again. Call 1-855-ASK-SGHS. That's 1-855-275-7447 or visit sghs.org/summit.
It makes sense Prime South Bank would have a great mobile app. Nobody is as mobile as our customers. For a century, they've chased dreams, followed their hearts, took the road less taken, made a new path, taken leaps of faith. At Prime South, offering the latest digital banking, secure pay apps, and new online lending is part of a mobile tradition that goes way back. Life is mobile. So is Prime South. Find your Prime. Member FDIC.
Welcome back, sports fans. I'm Sean Smoke. He's Kevin Price. We're going to finish up the games for 901-23 here this coming up Friday night. And, Kevin, we're going to start off with Swainsboro at Jeff Davis. This is a game that used to be a region rivalry. Swainsboro moved down to single A. Jeff Davis stayed in double A, so this is kind of a renewal. I remember a couple years ago, Kevin, we went over there and watched a barn burner of a football game. And Jeff Davis coming off that big loss to Pierce County this past Friday night. Swainsboro kind of a power there in single A. So I'll look for another good one there in the Pinelands on Friday night.
Yeah, Swainsboro with a heck of a football team again, ranked number 2, I think, in their classification here early on. Beat Metter 39-7 in week 1. Beat Washington County 46-6. Jeff Davis, of course, 1-1 on the season. Tough game last week against Pierce, but did have that win in week 1 against Charlton. Maybe overmatched in this game. Swainsboro with some big time talent on their side, but it will be their home opener. They'll be jacked to the max there in Hazelhurst. I would like to see Jeff Davis win it. I'll just go on the record. I like their coach better than the Swainsboro coach. He's a lot easier to deal with the media. So for that reason, I'll pull for Swainsboro, but I just think they're going to have be a little bit outmatched here.
Yeah, Jeff Davis. Like I said, they're still in that real rebuilding mode. And when I talked to Coach Lance Helton at media day, felt like they were still a year away from making a serious run. So we'll see how this one shakes out. But I'm like you, Kevin. I'm pulling for Jeff Davis to win this game. Liberty's going to be open after the last week's loss to Bradwell. Trutland's going to go over and take on Long County. Long County, Kevin, bounced back really, really strong. I was kind of shocked that Long lost the first game of the season, but last week come back and beat a very talented Tatnall team. I think it was 33-0 or 30-0. Put up a lot of points. Defense played great. As a matter of fact, their linebacker for Long County played a really good game. I think he had 9 solo tackles, a couple of sacks. So Long County back on the winning side, and I look for them to continue that Friday night.
Yeah, no question. Trutland played Bryan County. That's one of their losses. They're 0-2, I think, but Bryan's 2-0, a surprise team maybe here in South Georgia early on. But I think you're right. Long got off the mat, so to speak, there last week, beating Tatnall 38-0, and I would expect they'll keep rolling this week. I got this one down as an easy win for the Blue Tide.
Moving on, the MCA Buccaneers are off after their close game with Glenn last week, so they're going to get better this week. And then we've got another game we're going to talk about, Kevin, in Metter at Pierce. I bring this game up because this is Lee Shaw, is now the coach at Metter. Metter's coach Rodney Garvin took the Vidalia job. Lee Shaw kind of comes out of retirement, Kevin, to take this job in Metter. He's built the program at Flowery Branch, built the program at Rabun County. He's also Jabo Shaw and Connor Shaw's dad. So a lot of coaching history there. And by the way, he's got to go to Bearville and play a really, really good Pierce County team. I think a team that really people aren't looking at. I think everybody just assumed that Apple was just going to run this, run that 2A classification. But I tell you, this Pierce County team, Kevin, looks pretty stout. Their defense is going to be solid, and if you score points against them, you're going to have to have a pretty good offense.
So, Shawn, you really don't think Pierce is rebuilding? You think they've reloaded?
No, I think they've reloaded. Yeah, I mean, that was an impressive win against Jeff Davis last week. And listen, I know Jeff Davis is Jeff Davis, but still, it's hard to beat Air 41-0.
I hear you. And Metter's, had a tough schedule so far. Like I said, they lost to that really good Swainsboro team. Beat ECI that has a good tradition, 17-10. Metter's unranked at the moment. If you want to get back ranked again, this would possibly be a good way to do it. They started the season ranked there in Single A, but Pierce at home, always tough. They'll be looking to get after Metter. Great coaching matchup, like you said. One of the subplots of this ball game should be a good one over there in Bearville. Looking forward to seeing how this one turns out.
Yep, be a good one there. Jenkins going to travel over to Richmond Hill. Richmond Hill lost to Ware County this past Friday night. Then you got South Effingham at Islands. Purvis Lauren Purvis, the new head coach at South Effingham, maybe set up for his first win there against Islands, a team that's kind of down right now. So we'll see if South Effingham can get a win. They do have to go on the road to Islands to try to get that win. And then the last game, Kevin, we're going to talk about is Baldwin at Ware. It's going to be senior night for the Ware County Gators. Ware County 2-0 on the young season. Going to be taking on a Baldwin team, Kevin, that last year Ware handled pretty good. But, I mean, let's look at Baldwin. They beat Peach County first game of the season. Anybody knows anything about high school football in the state of Georgia knows Peach County is definitely a good program. And, oh, by the way, Mr. Westbrook from Warner Robins is now their new head football coach. But Baldwin was able to get that win and then was able to beat Putnam County this past Friday night. So Baldwin got a really good running back, a kid that's already committed to play for Deion Sanders out in Colorado. So look for, Ware's defensive line to have to play really, really well and kind of hem this guy up and not let him get out and break some big yardage. And then Ware's just got to do Ware things and, like I said, try to get win number 3.
Yeah, and you mentioned that Putnam team, after Peach, and Putnam's no slouch either. They've been a pretty good team down in AA the last couple of years, and they are ranked 10th this year. And Baldwin beat them last week 33-13. So they won by 2 similar scores.
Right.
So they can put up points, and they've been able to hold their first 2 opponents down. Obviously, neither one of those opponents exactly what Ware is, loaded for bear on both sides of the ball. Certainly, to defend the state champ there in 5A, but Ware's going to have to line up, buckle their chin straps, and play this one out. And it is senior night Shawn, I guess, for the Gators. And that's interesting. Speak about that. I think Ware did that a couple of years back because of COVID. I know Camden did that in their opener, but they had a very good reason to do that. One of their moms of a player and a cheerleader is fighting a serious battle with cancer, and they hope to be able to do that again maybe at the end of the season and have 2 senior nights. But it was important for her to walk across that field with her kids, and they did it. But is there a reason that Ware's doing it so early in the season?
Well, I think it's the same thing, Kevin. There's been so many homecomings and senior nights and stuff like that that were lost to COVID, it was lost to weather, that a lot of this stuff is being pushed forward. I mean, let's face it, Brantley County played a homecoming game last Friday night. I mean, how often do you see your first game at home or your second game at home that you do homecoming? So I think it's just a situation whereas if they don't get it in this week, they've got other options. If they wait till that last game of the season, Kevin, something comes up, they don't get it in, then these kids don't get their day in the sun, so to speak. But I talked to Coach Strickland on this podcast, and he'll tell you senior night is the most important night to the coaching staff and to the players. Listen, everybody loves homecoming with the dress up and the dance and everybody come back into town, and that's all fine and good. But this is these kids' culmination of 4 years of pouring into it. And listen, senior night is not just for the football players. It's like you said, Kevin. It's for the cheerleaders. It's for the band. It's for the ROTC. So these guys get a chance to come across that stage, be out there under the lights, have their name called, have their parents standing beside them. So I think it's real important to the participants, and it's real important to everybody in the stands as well. So again, I think they just do it. So now they've got options if something comes up. And oh, by the way, we've got a hurricane coming in this week. We don't think it's going to affect the games on Friday, but what if this hurricane was 2 days back or whatever, and this was the last game of the season? Then what do? Senior night's gone. But this way they get some options. They can move it if they have to, and I think that's one of the reasons that a lot of schools are moving this stuff forward. But that's going to wrap it up for this week. Get out and see a high school football game this Friday night. You can catch Kevin Thursday and Friday night between the bricks with the Brunswick game on Thursday, the Glen game on Friday, and then we'll have the Ware County game at Memorial Stadium. So come on out, catch a football game somewhere in your area, and appreciate everybody watching On Air with 912 Sports. Stick around. We'll be right back here with more.
Play it loud and rev it up. Robbie Robinson's got trucks built for tough.
Make your way to Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, where the deals are bigger than ever. Looking for a stylish midsize car, a spacious SUV, or a truck that performs at work and play? Robbie Robertson wants your vehicle and is paying top dollar. Now is the time to buy. Fords are cheaper in the swamp.
Gibson Animal Clinic is ready to help with your animals. From cats to dogs to horses, we treat them all. Calling us for grooming, bathing, boarding, and more serious things like surgery, dentistry, spay, neuter, immunizations, heartworm prevention, flea control, complete lab testing, radiology, preventive health care. Call us at 285-7678. Open Saturdays for your convenience. Gibson Animal Clinic. Practical solutions with reasonable fees. Russell J. Gibson, DVM.
Gibson Animal Clinic, 108 Riverside Drive, Waycross.
Hablamos español en nuestra clínica.
This has been a presentation of 912 Sports.